Amidst the powdery white sands of Puerto Real, a tropical haven off the coast of Gansbaai, South Africa, stood Chad Mullins, a 33-year-old photographer from Portland, Oregon. The unforgiving summer sun bore down upon the beach, tempered only by a warm, caressing breeze. His gaze shifted to the right, where his companions, Mack Grey and Adolf Marshall, diligently tinkered with their diving gear, ensuring every piece was primed and ready. A grin of excitement crept across Chad's face, anticipating the forthcoming dive into the azure depths with his cherished friends. As the minutes trickled, a boat glided toward the shore, capturing Chad's attention. Thandiwe, their boatman, was aboard the vessel, signaling their journey to the heart of Gansbaai's shark-infested waters. Following an hour-long boat ride, the vessel anchored amid the boundless ocean. Thandiwe assembled the group of divers, offering final instructions, his voice tinged with the gravity of the imminent adventure. He meticulously briefed them on the unpredictable nature of the sea, emphasizing caution and adherence to protocol. An adrenaline-laden anticipation coursed through Chad as he plunged into the chilling waters. Mack and Adolf soon joined him in the safety of the protective cage, prepared to explore the mesmerizing beauty beneath the ocean's surface. Gansbaai's waters unfolded like an aquatic tapestry, revealing its vibrant hues and thriving marine life. Chad, armed with his camera, sought to immortalize the wonders of the deep. Yet amidst the tranquil beauty, an ominous shadow caught his eye through the viewfinder. A massive great white shark, measuring 14 feet long, loomed just 10 meters away. Panic rippled through the group as the sharks began to close in, drawn by their frantic movements. In a horrifying surge of speed, the great white shark focused on Adolf. The attack was swift and brutal, its deadly maw clamping onto Adolf's legs. A chilling realization of the creature's immense size engulfed Chad. The water turned into a vortex of frenzy, the shark violently thrashing its head from side to side, Adolf desperately attempting to fend it off. The once azure waters now merged with the stark red of Adolf's wounds. The shark's teeth gnashed and ground, bones crushed beneath the relentless force. Adolf fought valiantly, landing desperate punches on the shark's snout, but it proved futile. In a horrific minute of frenzied chaos, the shark ruthlessly bit off Adolf's limbs, leaving him maimed and sinking. With horrifying aggression, it surfaced again, launching a gruesome attack on Adolf's defenseless body. The shark's razor-sharp teeth clamped onto his neck and in an instant decapitated its prey. Adolf's body went limp, leaving behind a tragic scene of unimaginable horror and loss, the unforgiving waves of Gansbaai bearing witness to the brutality. The relentless and gruesome attack on Adolf unfolded as Chad and Mack watched in frozen terror. Their survival instincts propelled them into synchronized action as they began swimming frantically toward the surface, desperately hoping for salvation. Their movements, however, did not go unnoticed by the man-eating shark that lurked beneath them, and the grim reality set in, that one of them would likely be the next victim. With adrenaline surging, Chad and Mack pushed their bodies to the limit, their muscles burning as they strove to outpace the relentless predator below. Their hearts raced in dread, knowing that the shark's relentless pursuit would likely result in a horrifying outcome. And then, the massive predator lunged at Mack with the same ferocity as in the earlier attack. Its deadly jaws clamped onto Mack's body, but the initial bite did not prove immediately fatal this time. Mack's diving gear, including the oxygen tank and lead vest, served as an unexpected line of defense, offering a brief respite from the shark's razor-sharp teeth. Despite this feeble protection, the immense bite force of the shark inflicted severe injuries on Mack, cracking his ribs with its powerful jaws. The shark thrashed violently in the water, seemingly agitated by its failed attempt, with Mack still trapped within its formidable jaws. Despite his injuries, Mack fought back valiantly, grabbing his dive knife and stabbing the shark repeatedly. The water turned crimson, not with Mack's blood but with the predator's. The relentless attacks took a toll on the shark, gradually loosening its grip. Momentarily recoiling, the predator finally released Mack. Mack attempted to swim towards the surface despite his injuries, and Chad followed suit. Their progress was agonizingly slow, the weight of the physical and emotional trauma dragging them down. As they approached the surface, Chad's gaze shifted back to his friend Mack, who struggled due to his injuries. A shiver coursed down Chad's spine as he witnessed the massive shark in relentless pursuit, closing in on Mack with terrifying precision. The shark lunged towards Mack's exposed head with chilling accuracy. A horrifying agony unfolded as Mack's body convulsed within the shark's merciless maw. And then he went limp. Burdened with a heavy heart and driven by an instinct for self-preservation, Chad made the agonizing decision to swim towards the surface. He screamed for help, his voice echoing over the turbulent waters, and Thandaway, the boatman, alarmed by the urgency of Chad's voice and tone, immediately sprang into action, aiding Chad aboard the boat. With frantic energy, Thandaway, the boatman, rushed to check Chad for any injuries as the boat sped towards the safety of the shore. Concern etched across his face, Thandaway kept asking questions, attempting to piece together the harrowing ordeal that had just unfolded. However, Chad sat in stunned silence, his gaze fixed into an abyss of trauma and shock, unable to articulate the horrors he had just witnessed. Realizing the urgency of the situation, Thandaway made a swift decision. He called emergency services and the Coast Guard for immediate assistance, urgently relaying the dire situation that had unfolded amidst the shark-infested waters off Gansbaai. As Chad slowly began to recover from the overwhelming shock, he recounted the terrifying details of the events that had transpired beneath the waves, describing the relentless attacks that had claimed the lives of his two friends. A comprehensive search was launched in the area, as authorities worked tirelessly to investigate the incident. After a few days, hunters managed to capture a massive 14-foot shark, believed to be the same predator responsible for the tragic events. The shark was carefully examined, and a horrific discovery was made upon cutting its belly open. Human body parts, including 2 human heads, spilled out, mingled with its guts. Markings on the recovered body parts confirmed the grim truth. The 2 divers, Chad's friends, had fallen victim to the insatiable hunger of the man-eater. The weight of the horrifying revelation bore down on Chad, and a whirlwind of emotions gripped him. Survivor's guilt mingled with grief and profound sorrow. Though he had emerged physically unscathed from the ordeal, the trauma and emotional scars inflicted upon him would endure until his last breath. Under the scorching sun, Ravi Singh carefully anchored his small boat just off the coast of Fiji. The cloudless sky stretched above, and the turquoise waters below seemed calm and inviting. This remote paradise in the South Pacific had always held a special allure for him. A seasoned diver and a lifelong sea cucumber fisherman, Ravi had spent most of his life in these waters. Despite the growing restrictions on harvesting sea cucumbers, Ravi had a way of skirting the rules. He would often sneak in some catches, selling them discreetly through a middleman, bypassing the regulations meant to protect these underwater creatures. With a final check of his equipment, Ravi donned his sleek black wetsuit, adjusted his mask, and took a deep breath. He had explored these waters countless times, and the thrill of a successful catch and harvest never lost its appeal. His boat gently rocked on the surface, tethered to a buoy marking the dive site. A small anchor line trailed down into the abyss below. Ravi slipped into the water, the cool embrace of the ocean instantly enveloping him. He was a master of this world, able to navigate the depths with grace and precision. Armed with a mesh bag for collecting sea cucumbers, he descended. Below, the vibrant coral reefs teemed with life as Ravi marveled at the underwater beauty. Schools of tropical fish darted among the corals, showcasing a dazzling array of colors. The sea cucumbers he sought were a critical part of this ecosystem, their feeding habits playing a crucial role in maintaining a delicate balance. However, Ravi grappled with a harsh reality. He felt trapped in a difficult situation despite understanding the importance of preserving the marine ecosystem. The sea cucumbers were a means to an end, providing him with a source of income to feed his family. Pushing aside his conscience, he searched for a successful catch to put food on the family's table. Minutes turned into hours as Ravi worked diligently, carefully collecting sea cucumbers without disturbing their surroundings. He was in his element, every flick of his fin, every subtle movement, a dance with the ocean. But as the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows over the reef, unease began to gnaw at him. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching. Ignoring the unease, he continued to explore, descending even deeper into the depths. The water grew colder, the light dimmer, and the coral formations more alien. He knew he had to be cautious. The deep waters held potential dangers, and he was miles away from help. As Ravi reached a particularly deep crevice, his heart skipped a beat. Out of the shadows, a massive figure emerged, a tiger shark, easily 12 feet long, its sleek mottled gray skin adorned with unmistakable dark stripes. The sight sent a shiver down his spine, and his pulse quickened as he realized the imminent danger. Tiger sharks were notorious for their unpredictability, and in some cases their ferocious aggression. The monstrous tiger shark's eyes glinted with an unnerving focus as it circled, sizing up its potential prey. Its powerful muscles rippled beneath its skin, propelling it effortlessly through the water. Ravi, acutely aware of the predator in his midst, tried to maintain a sense of calm amidst the rising tide of panic. Ravi slowly backed away, making himself as small as possible, hoping the shark would lose interest. But the tiger shark's curiosity had been piqued, and it circled Ravi, its predatory instincts taking over. The beast's dorsal fin sliced through the water like a silent warning, a reminder of its strength. With a sudden burst of speed, the tiger shark closed the distance between them, its gaping maw revealing rows of serrated teeth. Ravi's heart raced, and he knew he had to act. He reached for the mesh bag of sea cucumbers for his knife, hoping to use it as a feeble defense against the colossal attacker. But the shark was faster, its jaws clamping onto his left arm with crushing force. Pain erupted through Ravi's body as the shark's teeth pierced his skin and tore through flesh. The predator's aggression was relentless, thrashing, attempting to drag Ravi deeper into the cold, dark abyss. Desperation surged through Ravi, igniting his survival instincts as he fought fiercely to break free from the predator's vice-like grip. Years of experience and knowledge about these ruthless hunters kicked in, and a crucial detail flashed in his mind: the shark's sensitive eyes, a potential vulnerability. Summoning all the strength he could muster, Ravi acted on this realization. With his free hand still holding the knife, he aimed for the shark's eye, jabbing its pointed side with every ounce of force he had left. The beast recoiled, releasing its grip on Ravi. Blood clouded the water as the shark retreated, leaving a carnage scene behind. Gasping for breath, Ravi frantically made his way to the surface, the pain in his arm agonizing. He broke through the water's surface, his chest heaving as he clung to the buoy tethered to his boat. The sea around him churned with his blood, a grim reminder of the life-and-death struggle he had just endured. Minutes crawled before Ravi could muster to haul himself back into the boat. His arm was a mangled mess, a gruesome testament to the shark's relentless attack. Urgently, he recognized the dire need for immediate medical attention. With trembling hands, Ravi started the boat's engine, and its roaring clamor shattered the eerie silence of the open sea. He clenched the steering wheel with his uninjured limb, steering the vessel determinedly back toward the distant shore. After an agonizingly long hour, Ravi spotted the welcome sight of dry land. He practically beached his boat, the suddenness of his arrival alarming the nearby beachgoers, who swiftly grasped his harrowing situation. In a collective response, the crowd immediately called for emergency services. Ravi's wounds were swiftly tended to, and makeshift bandages were applied to stem the bleeding. Within minutes, the ambulance arrived, and a sense of urgency enveloped the air. Ravi was quickly and carefully loaded into the ambulance, which sped off to the nearest medical facility. There, medical professionals urgently treated his injuries, assessing the extent of the damage caused by the shark's ferocious attack. The deep gashes and torn flesh would leave lasting physical and emotional scars. As news of the attack spread, local authorities investigated the incident. The attack was unusual, as tiger sharks were not known to target humans as prey. Ravi's story raised questions about the changing behavior of these apex predators and their interactions with humans. Meanwhile, Ravi faced a long and painful recovery. His arm required multiple surgeries and extensive physical therapy. The scars on his body constantly reminded him of the razor-sharp teeth that had torn into his flesh. He couldn't help but wonder what had driven the tiger shark to attack him with such ferocity. Ultimately, Ravi's resilience and determination were a testament to the indomitable human spirit. He had faced the jaws of a 12-foot tiger shark and lived to tell the tale. Despite having survived the harrowing ordeal, Ravi learned an essential lesson about the ocean and its inhabitants: to maintain the balance and respect the wildlife that roams the depths of the unforgiving sea. Calvin Stevens loved the water. He was a 24-year-old adventure seeker and a water sports enthusiast who enjoyed surfing, kayaking, and paddleboarding. He had always dreamed of visiting Maui, Hawaii, where he heard the waves were perfect and the marine life was abundant. He saved up for months to afford the trip and finally booked a flight and a hotel for a week-long vacation. He arrived in Maui on a sunny morning and checked in at his hotel. He wasted no time in grabbing his paddleboard and heading to the beach. He was eager to explore the crystal-clear waters and see the colorful fish and coral reefs. He paddled out to the sea, feeling the warm breeze and the gentle splash of the waves. He felt joy and excitement as he glided over the water. He noticed a dark shape moving beside his paddleboard as he was paddling. He looked down and saw a 10-foot tiger shark swimming parallel to him. He felt a jolt of fear, but also curiosity. He had never seen a shark up close before. He wondered what it was doing there and if it was dangerous. He decided to follow it, hoping to get a better look. He paddled faster, keeping pace with the shark. He saw its sleek body, striped pattern, powerful tail and dorsal fin, black eyes and sharp teeth. Suddenly he saw another shape emerge from the water. It was a sea turtle swimming near the surface. The turtle seemed unaware of the shark's presence, or perhaps it did not care. It moved slowly and gracefully, occasionally poking its head out for air. The shark noticed the turtle too. It changed its course and headed straight for it. Calvin realized that the shark was going to attack the turtle. He felt pity for the turtle and the thrill of witnessing nature in action. The shark closed in on the turtle, opening its mouth wide. It bit down hard on the turtle's shell, trying to crack it open. The turtle struggled and flapped its flippers, trying to escape. The shark shook its head violently, trying to get through the turtle's shell. Calvin watched in horror at the ensuing struggle. He felt sorry for the turtle but was fascinated by the shark's ferocity. He wondered how long it would take for the shark to kill the turtle. But then, something unexpected happened. The turtle's shell proved too hard for the shark's teeth. No matter how hard it tried, the shark could not break through it. The turtle managed to wriggle free from the shark's grip and swim away. The shark's predatory instinct was in high gear. With its prey escaping, it turned its attention to Calvin, who was still gliding nearby on his paddleboard. Calvin had been so engrossed in watching the shark-turtle fight that he had not noticed that he had drifted closer to them. He was now within striking distance of the shark. With swift and decisive movement, the shark powered toward Calvin's paddleboard, gaining speed and ferocity. Its jaws widened, revealing a terrifying array of razor-sharp teeth. Calvin, unfortunately, spotted the approaching shark too late, leaving him no room for reaction or escape. An abrupt and forceful collision ensued as the shark rammed into his paddleboard, clamping its teeth onto the floating surface. The attack jolted Calvin, disrupting his balance and causing him to tumble into the water. Panic surged through him as he found himself submerged in the shark-infested waters. Struggling against the mounting fear, Calvin desperately stroked towards his paddleboard, aiming to reposition himself on it before the shark registered his presence. However, his efforts proved futile. He was too slow. The shark observed Calvin's fall into the water, recognizing he was not a seal or fish, something new and unfamiliar. Intrigued, it relinquished its grip on the paddleboard and redirected its focus towards him. Opting for an exploratory bite, the shark lunged at Calvin, sinking its teeth into his left thigh with unforgiving force. Calvin was engulfed in searing agony as the shark's teeth tore through his flesh and bit into his bone. A primal scream of pain and fear escaped his lips, the sound echoing in the vast expanse of the ocean. Blood spurted from the wound, staining the surrounding water red. Calvin fought back with every ounce of his strength, fiercely kicking his remaining free leg and landing punches on the shark's snout, desperately trying to force the predator to release its grip. He prayed that the onslaught would scare the shark away or at least compel it to relinquish its hold on him. Fortune favored him, for the shark made a sudden decision. It released its grip and swam away, leaving Calvin gasping in relief. Calvin knew he wasn't out of danger yet. He was stranded in the middle of the ocean, severely injured and bleeding profusely from his mangled thigh. Time was of the essence. He summoned every ounce of his willpower, pushing aside the pain and discomfort as he reached for his nearby paddleboard. He ignored the stinging bite of the salt water on his wound, hoisting himself onto the paddleboard with great effort. Gripping his paddle, he began the arduous journey towards the distant shore, propelled by the urgent need for survival. He hoped desperately that someone would spot him and come to his aid. Eventually, he sighted surfers awaiting waves nearby. He yelled for help, his voice hoarse from pain and desperation. The surfers, alerted by his cries and the gruesome trail of blood marking his passage, recognized the direness of his situation. Acting swiftly, they paddled towards him, skillfully maneuvering their boards to reach Calvin. They assisted him onto one of their surfboards, improvising a tourniquet with a towel to stem the profuse bleeding. Determined and united, they paddled him to the safety of the shore, where a concerned crowd of beachgoers had gathered. Emergency services had been summoned, and an ambulance arrived promptly. Calvin was swiftly loaded onto a stretcher and rushed to the nearest hospital. His injuries were grave, and the only viable option was to amputate his leg above the knee. In the aftermath, Calvin survived the perilous shark attack that could have easily been fatal. He was grateful to the brave souls who had rushed to his rescue. However, the harrowing ordeal etched a lasting scar on his body, and more so on his psyche, manifesting as persistent nightmares.